Hello, and welcome back to the Coup de Villa channel. I'm Scott Cooper, and I'm here with Noah Fisher to discuss Aston Villa versus Brighton and Hove Albion. Yes, another disappointing result, more points dropped, and we will also look back a little bit towards the Newcastle game. Not too much because it was a bit of a shocker, but we will talk about this game in full and the thrills and spills in a very drama-filled game, and all of that is coming up after this. And welcome back to Coop de Villa Live. I'm here with Noah. We're doing a instant reaction to the game, Noah. Happy New Year to you all before we get going. Happy New Year, Noah. Big year for the podcast, for Villa. Everyone, it's been great as always. Loved your content, loved your, just thoughts, and just been a great guy. Noel Fisher. Look, let's hear it for him. But no, because he comes on the podcast early in the morning. Tommy doesn't, of course. I don't know where Tommy is, but he's not here today. But
I think he's still sleeping, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm still a bit sleepy myself. It's like 6:30 in the morning here. Yeah, I've been up since 3:30, so it's it's been huge.
You finally got a bad kickoff time. You finally got a bad one. Normally you're getting the good one, so
I don't actually mind it. It's like it's gonna be 40 degrees. It's gonna be 40 degrees today, so it's nice to be up this early. You get a few things done before it gets too hot. But
it's gonna be 25 degrees in Melbourne, so not as nice.
Yeah, it's gonna be an absolute stinker here. But let's talk about the game because that's what we're here for. Aston Villa 2, Brighton 2. Look, it's so frustrating. There's so many talking points in this game, so many things to touch on. First of all, I've got a few stats for you. I've got a few Noah stats, and this is one. This is one that is not a good stat for Villa. Out of the 19 games we've played this season, 11 times we've conceded a goal with the opposition's first shot.
Doesn't surprise me.
That is a shocking stat, and it happened again tonight. The first goal, absolute, just horrendous defending all round. Letting the ball bounce, not dealing with it. Esri Konsa, Pau Torres. When are we going to learn to defend, Noah?
I don't know, but I think it starts with our player that doesn't even look like us. You're playing right back, and that's Esri Konsa. He just, going forward, doesn't quite know what to do. He doesn't quite know how to put the ball in the box. It's one of those weird sort of situations where, it opens tomorrow. I'd be getting a bid on a right back or starting out right back on the bench in Delkovic. I just don't quite understand what that kid has to do to get an opportunity. When Cash is suspended, I think it was the perfect game to chuck him in. He's an attacking fullback. Dinier's committed the defensive mind and he's done well defensively this season. And I feel bad for the kid. I think you have to go out on loan. It just starts from there. I just think that's where it starts. You need to have players playing in the right position. Concha's unbelievable centre back. Even Mings played well when he came on. I thought Carlos did okay, but I think it starts from the positional things.
Yeah, we made a few changes, and one of the changes you think with Matty Cash being suspended could be a bit of Nedeljkovic, but like you said, I don't know. He's being sort of told to wait his turn a bit here, and he's been spending a lot of time on the bench. He came on against Newcastle for a bit, but didn't get any minutes in this game. And I think he's looked pretty good whenever I've seen him. So it is a bit of a surprise. And with Carlos coming in, with Konsa shifting to right back, I was kind of hoping for Mings personally. Carlos has been a bit dodgy recently, and I just think that Mings, he's a leader. He gives us a lot of good stuff. And I thought when he came on, he played quite well. Like maybe one of our better players, actually, until he hurt his calf at the end, which it's not looking good with him and now Torres as well injured. The centre backs, we definitely need probably two defenders, a right back and a centre back in the January transfer. There's a lot of rumours saying that we might sign 3 players or more I don't know if they'll be loans or what, but we need to get some bodies in. We're sort of falling apart a little bit. And, yeah, especially at the back. I mean, Noah, we've conceded so many goals this season. It's disgusting. Against Newcastle as well, they scored with their first shot. It was it's horrendous. We need to shake it up back there.
Yeah, 100%. I don't know what else we need to say on it, to be honest. It's been an issue for all season. We've seen it for so long. It was nice to see Mings get more minutes, obviously, and so disappointing that Torres went down. I was thinking about a right back that we did have that actually has played some Premier League minutes. Not a lot, but played a few. That was Kane Kessler-Hayden. But again, we sent out on with someone that is quite highly rated when he plays in the Championship. Was unreal when I think he went to Swindon in League Two, played unreal against Man City in the Cup. We have these talented players that we just don't seem to want to play in their natural position or trust. We'd rather let other teams develop them and then just see what we can do.
Yeah, and look, I mean, so we go 1-0 behind, which we've done plenty of times this season. And one of the, I guess, the sort of positives of this season is the amount of chances and how dangerous we look with the likes of Rodgers, Duran, Watkins, Tillemans. We've actually, had a lot of shots, created a lot of chances, been quite wasteful, and that's come to cost us again in this game, I think, because in the middle section of the game, let's say from 15 minutes into, the last 15 minutes of the match, that middle hour, we were very, very good, I thought. And, played some good stuff, created chances. Bailey looked a bit better. I mean, he's obviously the final ball's still not there. The goal he needs, he's still not there. But he's playing, a bit better, and he gives us something a bit different. And Ollie Watkins obviously had a point to prove after being benched for the last 4 games. And, he runs those channels so well. You sort of forget how much he does give to us when when you haven't seen him for a while. And, he comes in, he's putting himself about, he's bossing defenders, he's running the channels, he's looking good. But we equalized with a penalty. There was 2 penalty calls, Noah, in the space of about a minute. I think they were both penalties. I don't know what we have to do to get the VAR on our side this season, because I actually thought he was not going to give the second one after a while. It was absolutely crazy. I'm like, what do we have to do to get a penalty here? I thought the first one he gets Rodgers before he gets the ball. Yeah. He does get a bit of the ball, but Rodgers is already
there
there, and he's going down because he's been kicked by the time the ball is kicked. It's like a secondary motion almost. And the second one, I think, those sort of things are unlucky for the defender because he can't really do much. But Rodgers gets his toe in before, and it's a penalty, a clear penalty.
It absolutely is. And when he went over to the screen, I was just thinking, he was saying, how don't I give a pen? He just didn't want to give a penalty for the second one. But the first one I thought was stonewall. I'm not sure if anyone that thinks that, but it's ridiculous. And I saw a comment here from George. I don't think it's the attacker's fault. So many games you have to score 3 goals to win games. And when Emery first came in, we were scoring 1, maybe 2 to win a game. Yeah. But if we have to score 3 goals to win a game, it's pretty poor. I thought Kamara was a bit off today. I thought, sometimes he got caught with the ball and gave it away, but I don't know what's going to have to happen. I thought Onana and Kamara and Tillemans at midfield worked perfectly. And I'd even just try it against teams like Brighton. Don't let them get through you. Don't let them. And, that's something we have to do. We have to become more stingy in the back line. And who did we play against? Man City, and we won 2-1. We only conceded one goal. It was right at the end of the game. We held them out for 90 minutes. And I think that's something we have to bring back. I'll be playing that midfield every game.
Yep. I mean, look, you got to start from the back. The foundations are the defense, the midfield, the ability to, see out the opposition and then it's about creating chances. It's about, scoring goals. But our goal difference just sums it up, right? We've got a -3 goal difference, right? We're the only team in the top half, I think, with a minus goal difference. We've conceded 5 goals this week. More than that, right? So, it's been 5. It's been awful all season. We've only had 2 clean sheets all season, and in the last 15 minutes of the match, George put a comment here. We've conceded more goals than anyone else, more than Southampton, more than West Ham, Ipswich. The teams in the bottom 3 or in the relegation race. We've conceded 11 goals now in the last 15 minutes because we obviously conceded the one today. If we're not starting games well and we're not finishing games well, we're not going to win many games, no.
No, that's a big issue. It's a big issue. And stats don't lie. We were doing it all season. Even when I was over there in September, we won games, but we conceded first and we had to fight from behind. And, it's been a very enjoyable 2024. Don't get me wrong, supporting Aston Villa, but God, it's been frustrating.
Well, I think a lot of that work was done in 2023, and 2024 has been a bit of, we hung on to 4th place, I think, a bit last season. Certainly didn't play our best football of the season in the second half of last season. And this first half of the season, the Champions League's been great. Yeah. Wonderful. Can't complain with that at all, obviously. We're well ahead of, I think, most people's expectations in terms of the Champions League. But Absolutely. the Premier League, in the summer, a lot of pundits were saying Villa will struggle in the Premier League this season because they have Champions League football, similar to Newcastle. And I was very sort of dogged in no, we won't. We've got a bigger squad than Newcastle. We've brought in these extra players, the likes of Barkley, the likes of Anana, Madsen. We've got cover in nearly every position now. We're looking strong. But I think those sort of critics are sort of being proven correct. We are finding it difficult to back it up game after game, to play Wednesday, Saturday.
Well, we're yet to win a Premier League game after a Champions League game.
Yep. And of course, we don't have Champions League at the moment, but this Christmas period is very busy. We've got games.
It's very similar. It's very similar, game after game after game. And Leicester will have a crack at us. They'll want to beat us. Of course they will. Technically, it's a local rivalry, even though, we don't really see it as a big derby, but technically it is, seeming the Midlands teams in the Premier League. I watched them versus Man City, and they were pretty good. They were, Man City won that match, but Leicester had big chances, and if they'd taken them, it would have been a very different game because they actually were causing City some issues. And I'm not looking forward to that match, especially with Rodgers suspended, Duran suspended. That takes a lot of creativity, goals, and assists out of the team. Well, this is a big comment here from George that I do agree with. The only one that seems to be getting regular minutes is Ross Barkley, where we had the left back of the Champions League team of the year, Ian Maatsen, getting 10 minutes a game, where he can't really build a game from that. He came on with 2-2. He should be starting games, helping us score goals. He's such an attacking fullback. He can get to the byline. He can put balls in across the box, and that's where Watkins can go to work. I know that Bailey missed a good chance today, and Watkins, missed a couple as well. But
I thought Digne was pretty good, though. I mean,
I agree.
He's been one of our more consistent players, I would say, this season.
But Maatsen can't become consistent playing 5 minutes a game.
No, but can we find maybe a different spot for him? Could he play?
He's not a winger. He's not a winger, though. He comes on at left wing. He's not a winger. Like
I know it was. I mean, like then
that's like telling Nedeljkovic to play centre back. You're signing as an attacking right back. Let's play.
I agree with you. Then the question is, should we have bought him at all?
Well, I think we should have. I definitely think we should have, because going into the end of last season, I thought Digne was on his last legs. And don't get me wrong, Digne has really impressed me, but I just think Matson's is a class above.
Well,
and
we'll have
if
to
we get a free-flowing Matson, I don't see an issue. Like, Matson will be unbelievable as a free-flowing fullback. He was getting goals and assists for Dortmund. He was unbelievable in the Champions League. Nedeljkovic is unbelievable in the Champions League. These are players that are proven at the highest level in European football, yet cannot crack into our side when we have a centre-back playing at right-back.
Yes, but also, you look at Digne, he's got himself back into the French squad. He's playing really well. He's a hard one to sort of dislodge. I don't know. I mean, I think it's just such a shame we've got two brilliant players at left back, three really, including Moreno that George brings up here, that we sent out on loan, and he's having a good season with Forest. So we've got three great left backs and,
one right back.
Well, yeah, and he's not really even probably the standard we need him to be in Matty Cash. Like, he's cost us quite a few points this season. And
10 years age gap, though, between Digne and Matson.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. So, look, it'll be interesting to see what happens in the second half of the season. But I think, at the moment, we're not getting the right balance back there, and it's looking pretty shaky. But let's get to the Morgan Rogers goal, which was a cracker. Ollie Rockins with a fantastic pass, and a lovely little finish by Morgan Rogers. He looks so confident right now, and so good to see him amongst the goals.
It's great to see him amongst the goals. And I remember when we signed him, all Middlesbrough fans were like, "Oh, you guys overpaid. You overpaid." I wonder what they're saying now. Like, I'm just curious what they're saying now, because I think we owe him another £30 million.
Very quiet. Yeah, very quiet.
He is just an unbelievable player. The way he travels with the ball, the way he's so strong. Like, when he was running through those defenders, pulling them down, like in the 80-odd minute, whatever it was, and played that ball to Watkins, I've never seen a player be able to do that. Like, for example, if it was Grealish, he's going down the scene against touch where he knew that Watkins was in space. He had to hold him off and then play the ball. He's just so strong at the hips. He's so agile, so quick on the ball as well, and can finish. Like, he's the complete package for me in playing in that role, and I'm excited to see him grow. Like, he's still a young guy as well, which is ridiculous.
He is, and it's such a shame that he is suspended for that match against Leicester. But someone else is going to have to step up for that one and try and get us over the line, get us to 3 points, get us back in in rhythm, in form. Because look, we've got Leicester, West Ham in the cup, and then Everton. So we do have a chance to sort of get some points, or maybe get a bit of a run, get some wins under the belt, maybe progress in the cup. That would be nice,
Very nice to progress in the cup.
To have a bit of a cup run would be something. But like Ollie Watkins, what did you think of his performance today? Because he scores the penalty, a very well tucked away penalty, but then he had a few other chances that I thought he could have done better with.
I was going to say, like, he will be remembered of the chances he missed, but I thought his game was okay. Like, someone that hasn't started in a while, but because he missed those chances, he had a shocking game. We actually thought, got an assist, got a goal, made some good runs, held the ball up well, but when you need a striker to win you the game, he couldn't do that.
Well, I mean, the two that sort of stick out to me was the header, which I've seen him score them so many times. He scored one against Fulham, earlier on in the season, which with a bullet header from a similar position. You've seen, and then the one at the end on his left foot where he blazed over.
I've seen him I've seen that one where he was 1-on-1 from that the Rodgers pass. I've seen him smack that on his left foot in the top corner so many times. But he was going to bring that. Have lost, like, I think it was West Ham last season, where he just did a shimmy on his left and banged into the roof of the net. He just seems to have lost that.
I think he scored one against Brighton as well, from a similar spot last season where, he did the little step over and then like whacked it in.
But he got in two minds. Like clearly he wanted to, get on his right and roll it around the keeper. But he can hit him on his left.
Yeah.
I'm not slating him at all because I do love Ollie Watkins.
And like George says here, he got a goal and assist. Like you can't really complain with that. And he does so much other work that, we did talk about earlier, but doesn't get mentioned a lot, in the media and stuff but in those crucial moments, I think maybe Duran, does better. So I don't think he's really. I mean, when he scored the penalties, he was pointing at himself, saying, "This is my house" or whatever. And I do love that kind of thing. But I just think,
pen, by the way,
it was a good. It was a good pen, and he was kind of pointing at the floor, saying, "This is my house" and all that. And I love that, but I think you need to sort of kind of put your head down and just. I know he's probably frustrated, but. I think Duran's still got the spot. If Duran was coming back for the Leicester game, I don't know.
Duran's a clinical finisher. Duran is a genuine goal scorer. Where Watkins, his whole career, has been a playmaking goal scorer.
Yeah, he's a bit of both.
He got the Premier League most assists last season, but he still scored 19 goals. Where he seems to have lost that clinical finish this season. So I don't know. It's kind of like. Do we need to find a different? I don't think we need to find a different position for him, but I think we definitely need to find a way to get Duran and Watkins playing in the same team because they both bring what we need. Like they're both they bring if they were one forward, it's a 25-30 goal forward. Yeah,
I mean they certainly. I think they can complement each other. I think especially 100%. At late in games, when we're pushing for a goal, they can play together. But look, another guy who wants to play and might be playing now that Rodgers is suspended is we got Jacob Ramsey back. He had a little cameo. Didn't really have a lot of time to impress, but great to have him back, especially with the other injuries and suspensions mounting up. So, JJ really just needs a run of games now. Really needs to just the rest of the season injury-free, play another sort of 15, 20 games, in the end of the season and kind of, finish off the season like he finished off the season 2 seasons ago, because JJ at his best, we all know what he's capable of.
I was going to say, people might forget how good he actually was for us pre-injury. Even at the start of last season when he came back, he did really well, scored against Brighton, scored a great goal. But he's just isn't made of glass lately. And I was surprised he didn't ping a hamstring playing the 15 minutes knowing his luck today. It just seems like no matter what he does, he's just cursed by the injury cloud the last 18 months or so. He's going to be crucial. One player I thought that didn't look that good when he came on, he actually looked more tired than Kamara did, and that was Onana. He looked like he played 90 minutes, and he came on at the 70th minute.
I don't think he's good coming off the bench. I think I saw him in another game. I can't remember who it was against. He had a similar sort of. He looked just like he was still asleep. I don't know because he played so well against City. Had a great game there, and then against Newcastle. Look, we had 10 men. It was it wasn't easy for anyone. But I actually thought him and Rodgers and Kamara, even when we had 10 men in that game, kept the ball reasonably well in periods. It was well,
Rodgers won the most duels or something, or he had the most. Yeah, something. Rodgers had was on the leading midfielders on the ground. I mean, we had 10 men for 70 minutes or 60 minutes. That's why Rodgers lost. Because I think Onana, Kamara, Tielemans, and Rodgers, and McGinn as well, they all work so well as a midfield group. I know Rodgers playing more as a forward, but he tracks back a lot. He picks up the ball behind the halfway line and just drives with it. And I think that's why.
Do you think our defensive issues have anything to do with the midfield, or do you think it's?
Look, I think it starts from it because the ball has to get through the midfield, but I think the defense isn't holding up at all. There's no resistance from the defense, and I feel bad for Martinez. What could he know about the goal today? Martinez could have done nothing about the goal. He could have done nothing about the Anthony Gordon goal against Newcastle. No. But it's coming through the midfield. It's the defense are there, but they're not really doing enough to stop it, are they? But then you compare it to how we
feels like it feels like they don't need many chances to score.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not like they're having wave after wave. It's just like, I mean, in that first half, I think, they probably had maybe 2 or 3 shots, but they score on those. We make mistakes. We give them good looks on goal. We don't close down. We give the ball away. We do silly stuff at the back, and it's just costing us time after time after time again. And that happened, of course, in the last 15 minutes with Tariq Lamptey, another guy. As a right back, I wouldn't mind a sneaky sort of £5 million, £5 million or £10 million.
They're not going to accept that, though, are they? They're not going to accept that.
Well,
they rate him so highly.
He's been in and out a bit. They sometimes play Veltman. Yeah, but look. I mean, I don't know. It was a good strike, and but again,
it was a great strike. I'll give him credit there because that's come at him with a bit of pace, and he's just drilled it kind of back across himself into the corner. And again, Martinez couldn't have done nothing about it, but we could have prevented that before it got there.
Yeah, it was a bit easy, and we were sort of starting to sit back, and again, Brighton were just coming towards the goal at will, and it
just seemed like that goal happened so easy. Like, it just one end to the other, bang, 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 goal. But they had a few counterattacks like that, and they were in. And she's going, how the hell's that happen? Like, what?
And they made the changes. The 3 subs came on.
But we didn't react till too late.
No, I think we should have made subs earlier. And, we sat back and, against Brighton, against Bournemouth, in this game, it's happened time and time again this season where we've tried to hold a lead and we just can't do it. We cannot hold a lead.
I wouldn't trust us walking dogs at the moment, honestly, because the dog will run away. Like, it's just like, it's new year, new Villa, I hope, when it comes to defending. Because we just honestly just need to get back to basics in terms of, I would honestly go Cash, Konsa, Mings, Digne. I know I've been saying Madsen to start, but we know that back line from when Emery first came in can keep clean sheets. And then get the team confidence first. Yeah, I know. I agree. He's not the issue, I know. But I'm saying, like, going forward, potentially Madsen needs to come in. But go back to what Emery knows what works. Emmy, Cash, Konsa, Mings, Digne. Done.
All right, so let's just touch quickly on the Newcastle game. We're not going to talk much about it because it was absolutely.
I know that you want to touch on it.
Well, look, I just want to say, like, in the comments, what did you think about the Durant send-off? Because, it was pretty split, I think, in kinds of like neutrals, but, there was a lot of anger, of course. I think he was unlucky. I think it was kind of harsh, but in my opinion, when I saw it live, and I know this is going to be controversial, and you guys probably won't like it, I thought it was a red card. I thought it was silly. I thought there's no need to lead with his right foot. I mean, I think the first contact with the studs, was completely accidental. And
where does he put his leg? He slipped.
Yeah, but the second one, I think.
Where does he put it?
I don't know, but I don't think you put it there.
Scott,
even if it wasn't deliberate, which I'm not saying it was, I think it might have been, but I don't know. Only Duran knows that. But I think that
was deliberate.
I just think because Shah obviously gets him first.
He does. That's what I mean, and he puts him off balance.
Yeah, so I think it should probably be a red card for both of them, like, or nothing. But
seeing studs on players isn't good, and it shouldn't happen.
No, once he gets the studs to the groin, I think he kind of kicks out. That's my opinion, and I think Mohamed Adam sort of agrees, but I think I can see the arguments, and the more and more players and sort of pundits and stuff saying definitely not a red. I'm kind of probably coming back towards the fact that maybe it could have been handled differently. Maybe he just gives nothing and then goes and has a look, and then then he can send him off. But
Yeah,
it was one of those ones where as soon as I saw it, I was like, "Ooh, that's a little bit naughty."
I saw it first, and I've gone, I thought red, but you see him slip, you see Shah kick him. The slip's what gets me, because when you slip, you don't care where you put your foot. It's a reaction is to put your foot down and get balanced.
Yeah, or you can roll out of it. I don't know. Like, I'm not sure why his foot is the furthest thing forward there. His right foot. That's the thing. Like,
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, if you're slipping, sometimes you fall back, sometimes you fall forward. I'm not sure why his stud comes up like that unless he really wants to sort of get
I
a bit
agree.
of
This is
better.
literally what I agree with.
Yeah, no, look, that's a valid argument, and I agree with that. But only Duran will know, I think, deep down what it was, what he did there. But the fact that we did appeal the decision and it failed the appeal.
I'm telling you, if Duran was wearing a red shirt, playing for Liverpool or Manchester United, even Man City, that decision gets overturned. I'm putting it out there.
Possibly.
And
maybe it doesn't get given at all.
I think it's the same thing with the first penalty. If that is for Liverpool, Man City, Man United, that is a penalty first up. That gets given on field. The first one, I don't know how the first one gets given on field, but it's like those sort of decisions are swayed by your club. 100% they are. And I don't give a shit what anyone says.
No, I agree. And I think maybe even Duran's reputation as being a bit of a hothead, bit of a, kind of comes into play. And like I said, I think the proper course of action, as far as I'm concerned, would have been give nothing, let the VAR have a look at the whole situation, not just Duran's part, but Shah's part. Send him over to the monitor, show him that, Shah, as he's falling, kicks out up towards Duran, and then Duran does what he does, and maybe give nothing or maybe give a red to both.
Yeah,
depending on how you see it. I think that would have been the proper sort of way to do it, but that's obviously not how it happened. And now we miss him for 3 games, which is a real blow because he was on fire. We probably could have done with him in this game as well, like the Brighton match. So real shame about that, but he'll be back. He'll be back. And what did you think about him kicking the water bottle? Any thoughts on that? Yeah,
I feel bad for the water bottle.
He gave it a good kick, to be honest.
He's frustrated because I think he realized that he let the team down.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what it comes down to. And he's let the team down, and we're already 1-0 down in the game. It's Boxing Day. It's a big occasion. We haven't won at St James's Park since 2005.
And he probably thought he wasn't going to get red. You always think, when it's your team, you always, think you've been harshly treated. And there's been a lot of people on social media, ringing the conspiracy bell and saying that Villa have had, listing all the shocking decisions we've had this season. And we have had a few, but I wouldn't say that
you create your own luck, though, Scott.
I wouldn't say we're getting treated any worse than anyone else. It's just the way it is.
No, and it's the luck of the draw.
Yeah,
unfortunately. And as much as we do want to say, like, the ref just doesn't like your club or something, if the ref sees something, the ref has a split second. Like, the game moves so quick. Like, how many times did we think there was a foul at one end? The ball's already at the other end, like in 20 seconds. Like, that's how quick the game moves. The ref has a second to make a decision.
Yeah, but the VAR could probably do better. That's where I'm going to say.
That's where it comes down to me. Is VAR was meant to be in there to remove all the errors, and it's just not. Like
it causes more confusion at times.
That's kind of what it is. And like with the cricket third umpire, you can hear them discussing it. Like, you can hear the third umpire talking. I actually think, I know they have the cameras and stuff in the VAR, because I think they need to have them mic'd up. Or like in the MLS, they have the referee mic'd up. And it does work. Like, again, Aussie rules here. You can always hear the umpire talking. You can always hear in NFL the ref talk about the decision. I think that's something that needs to come in, because no one can understand what's going on from the ref's point of view or the VAR's point of view.
No, I think that would be interesting, but we're not very quick in Britain to take these sort of changes with the likes of the technology. We still don't have the semi-automatic offside. That was supposed to come in after the first international break, I think, and still not here. So I'm not really sure what's happening there, but I'd like to see how Dermot Gallagher does his wrap up of the decisions. I'd like to see what happened with that Duran one, because it was an interesting one. But
let us know, because
that's it. Let us know in the comments what you thought of the Duran situation, because it was a bit of a controversial one that sort of split opinion in many ways, and one that many Villa fans were upset about. But look, this is probably a good time to wrap up. It's the end of the year, Noah. New Year's Eve coming up tonight, and I want to know your 3 favorite Villa moments of 2024. I know I've put you on the spot here. I didn't. Yeah.
Okay. 2024. So making the Champions League, number 1.
Yep. So that was. I'll give you my list, right?
Okay. You go.
I've thought about it.
It'd be nice if I could have thought about it too.
Yeah. Exactly. This might give you a bit of a chance to think about it. So in third, I had the Liverpool game where we pretty much qualified for the Champions League, the 3-3. The comeback, the goal off Duran's knee, the whole, it. I mean, we weren't mathematically qualified, but that was, that was up there. Number 2, I had the Bayern Munich win.
Yeah.
I think just, first home game back in the Champions League, Duran's goal.
We could have exactly the same list here, by the way. If you're going the same way, I think you're going to go.
And number 1 for me was the Ollie Watkins goal against Arsenal.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because that was the moment I believed we were going to do it. That was just such an epic weekend, such an epic moment. The fact that it was Arsenal, they were going for the title. We went there and we played such a great game, and Ollie scores just a beautiful goal. That was just a moment where I'm just like, I think it's going to happen, So they were my top 3.
Massively. I'm going to give I'll go through mine first, and I'll try to find some honourable mentions. I've got
honourable mentions.
For me, obviously the Liverpool game / qualifying the Champions League. The awards night, I think it was, the Tottenham game was officially on. That was pretty good. The Bayern Munich game had to be on there. And for me, the Duran goal versus Everton, which I saw live, like that with me, that is peak. That's peak for me, because obviously I saw it live.
Absolutely. You were there.
And then I was going to say the honourable mention had to be the Ollie Watkins goal. I thought it was unbelievable. What was the other ones I was thinking of?
Look, for me, an honourable mention, and it's not Villa related, is Ollie Watkins' goal for England.
For England, yeah.
Against Holland in the semi-final of the Euros. Even though, that was England, I do support England, and I was going mad, not just for England, but for Ollie, and for Villa. I just thought, wow, what a great to have one of our own score a goal in such a big moment, such a big stage, and what a goal it was as well. It was
unbelievable goal.
Ollie on fire, and I love that.
Scott actually isn't. Scott is not. He does not say he's Australian.
I'm half. I'm half.
No,
and half,
you always, no matter what. No,
51% English.
No, any sport, Australia, England, he goes for England. Don't listen to K and Gart. Do not.
No, but I do love the Socceroos. They're the one that I really do love.
Roof into him. Everyone, have a crack at him. I'm all for this because I've been saying it for a long time.
Look, mate. Look, if I was born and bred, well, not so much bred, but born at least in England. So
you technically you were born in England, yes.
Yeah, so there you go. Yeah, I mean, like all my family supported the England in the Ashes and stuff growing up, so blame them. Blame Bonnie and Jeff.
I would have said this for George's, but this was in 2023, wasn't it? Beating Man City and Arsenal.
Yes, that was in.
That was at the
Yeah.
end of 2023, so very
Yeah.
close to 2024. But yeah, what were some other honorable mentions? I think the Man City win a couple of weeks ago is right there for me.
Definitely.
But any night Villa Park.
What about the emergence of Morgan Rogers?
Yeah,
just generally,
like if you signed him in January, so
yeah, as a general kind of just the growth of him.
Yeah. I mean, I could say the year that Aston Villa signed Joe Gauci. I mean, that's also 2024. So
look, what about our interview with Joe? Joe's calling.
That was good. He's a king. He's a king. We need to get him on. So
definitely. Your trip to England, of course.
Yeah, that was peak. I saw some very good games.
Definitely.
The Wolves game was right up there. We scored like in the 88th and 90th minute. It's just, I don't know. I just think that Villa has so many ups and downs. The highs are so high. We feel very low
the
right
Leipzig
now.
win. The Leipzig win was a big one.
Duran's goal in the Leipzig win.
Yeah. So there's been plenty of great, moments in 2024. I think, obviously, being in the Champions League again, and everything around that, qualifying and just seeing having the anthem played at Villa Park and the crowd.
That's one thing I regret is not being able to get a ticket to a Champions League game. The Bayern Munich game was sold out so quick, and watching it, doing the podcast with you straight afterwards, having to convince you to do it. You didn't want to do it. And
I wanted to do it after we won. It's just like tonight. I'm always available when things didn't go well tonight, but I am available. I try my best. I've got
this is one
little
of my
family
favorites from Gary.
Ooh, yeah, that's been fun.
That has been fun. But I just want to thank everyone, Scott, because I mean, New Year's Eve now. I'm not sure what subs we were on the start of this year, but in 800 subs now, we're growing. We're doing this as a bit of a passion, so we don't do it every week. We do try, but obviously we're quite busy, and it's
just like the intro says. We're passionate, we're unorganized, and we just like do what we can. Completely unprofessional. But we do love you guys, especially everyone that likes the video and has been here from the start. Like all you guys commenting, it's fantastic. And Happy New Year to you all. I hope you have a great 2025 and all your dreams and come true. And I hope, as for Villa's sake, we go deep in the Champions League and fingers crossed, finish in Europe again. I would probably, take any kind of European qualification right now.
Absolutely.
I think Champions League's going to be difficult, but, who knows? We're still not that far off, and other teams are struggling as well. So, it's not just us. If we can turn around, some of our defensive issues, I think we'll be looking pretty good. But until then, thanks again, Noah, for a great 2024. Thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe. Tell a friend. Comment on the video once it gets uploaded, and we will see you in 2025 for Leicester City. Oh, quick prediction for Leicester.
We haven't done that. 3-0 Villa.
I'm going to say 4-1 Villa. There we go.
Perfect.
So there we go. We got the prediction in. We'll see you next year. Up the Villa.
Up the Villa.
See you later.